and you could spark the program in the stadium where the slide began. In 2001. You write confusing headlines sometimes, Steve Sipple. You get all newspapery on your headlines. I keep it South O simple, and you get all Pulitzer Prize newspaper guy.
Sean, you remember 01?
I was there
vividly. We all do. The slide. I mean, it's pretty common knowledge by now. You can really trace Nebraska's slide to that 62-36 game. And wouldn't it be fun if we could come out of this game and eventually say this is where the rejuvenation occurred of Nebraska's program. This game in Boulder started Nebraska toward this very discernible progress. That would be really nice to see.
Well, the stat among all stats came out of that 2001 game, and it still carries today. Since that game, Nebraska football has only been ranked for a grand total of 1 week in the AP top 5.
That's incredible.
I mean, that is the stat among stats that is summarizes the downfall. And it began in that stadium on that Black Friday day. But I often wonder this, like if Nebraska wouldn't have gone to the Rose Bowl, right? And it was somebody else. Colorado could have gone, or another team could have got that spot on the Rose Bowl to play that great Miami team that Nebraska really had no business playing.
No, they didn't.
They would have played Illinois in the Sugar Bowl.
Is that right?
Yes. And it wasn't a great Illinois team. Like they probably would have won the game. Like how different would things be?
Well, you wonder. And you can't help but wonder. That's a good point, Sean. I don't know. Now, some people are going to look at this and say, come on. Osborne was gone no matter what. He wasn't coming back. So would it have made a big difference? I don't know. I just know that 62-36 was a big jolt.
Because there had never been a game like that before,
right,
in the Devaney Osborne era.
Right. It was this novel experience that we didn't even really know how to react to. That's what I remember most about, is trying to write about it. In 01, I remember the game distinctly, in part because I had a massive headache, because I think I was literally trying to overthink how do you do this? I've never seen.
Well, they almost came back too.
They did.
People forget, like they had like a mistake by the goal. I mean, they got it within.
I got it within 14 or 10,
and then they were about to score again, though, and then they screwed. They were in striking distance to make it interesting.
Absolutely, they were. So, and that was kind of part of the intensity. They did have a shot, but anyway, it would be a fabulous story if, and this is the type of game that could provide a spark. I'm not saying one game against a 22nd ranked team is going to turn. Please don't think I'm saying it's going to turn things around, but you're always looking for sparks. And this would be quite a spark in this setting, right?
Think how freaky this series has been, though. 2019, Nebraska blew the 17-point lead. They start the half with a delay of game penalty.
Yeah, which is a little more common than anything, but that was bad.
I mean, and then all those fans were there getting ready to celebrate the program, and then
Nebraska fans, yeah.
That turned the Scott Frost era that day.
Oh, I thought
that's the last week Nebraska's been ranked.
Yeah, 25th. They were 25th that day.
Then in 2018, they had to play, and Adrian Martinez's leg got twisted.
Yeah.
And they had to bring in Andrew Bunch.
Yeah.
And J.D. Spielman dropped a pass that if he catches it, they get a first down, they run the clock out. And then Colorado was able to score to win the game.
Jiminy Christmas.
So then you go back even further. I mean, all those games were very close. Yeah. Like even after 01, I mean, the 05 game was kind of the anomaly of the series, the restore the order game. That's Zach Taylor right there in the restore the order game.
See, and then the other part of this is a very much a rivalry game. I'm always taken aback a little bit, or taken at least, by when you talk to people from Colorado, how casually they say they hate Nebraska. Because I don't feel like it's reciprocated. Do Nebraska fans hate Colorado? It doesn't seem like it to me.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like
Colorado fans hate Nebraska.
I was trying to think of an incident that happened when I was out there all those years, and this is a funny story. This was pre-GPS days, pre-cell phone days. So if you got lost, you had to ask for directions, right? Yeah. You pull off to a gas station or ask the guy for some, hey, how do you get here? a guy gave us wrong directions.
No.
Yeah, he gave us wrong directions.
Really?
Like, I mean, we were going completely the other way of
That's
where we needed
dirty.
to go.
That's
And I'm
just
like,
dirty
wow,
cool.
that's the rivalry right there.
Yeah, that's a good example of it. And then I'm sure a lot of people would have stories. I've been to more threatening atmospheres than Colorado. Missouri, I thought was more threatening.
Wisconsin in 2011.
That was pretty threatening.
I mean, people, I've never seen so many large human beings that drunk.
Thank you. It was like you're in Tijuana, except it was all big people.
Just, I mean,
there was a massive drunk.
Remember our old colleague Thor Tripp? He was
Yeah.
a big guy, and I go, it was like a bunch of Thor Tripps walking.
Or bigger.
around.
Yeah. Well, I was walking to the car and I was struck by the same thing. How drunk people were and how big.
You would not want to get into a bar fight in Madison.
Oh, not especially me. I'm 5'8". I mean, just be crawling under people.
Barry Alvarez saw that. He goes, look at all these people in the state. I'm going to start recruiting linemen out of here.
He's famous for having said that. That's exactly right. But anyway, the rivalry aspect of this adds to the intensity. It's Colorado, Nebraska. So there is so much about this game that has created all this energy, and that energy will be very evident starting, I don't know, at 8:00 on Saturday morning. I mean, probably earlier, and then it'll reach a crescendo at kickoff, and you'll understand why there's going to be 10 million people watching. It is going to be a fascinating afternoon.
Yeah, and Fox hit the lottery. I mean,
they did.
They went Dion for their first 2 picks.
And then got a W out of the gate. And then now you get Nebraska.
And then to top things off, Spectrum Cable is in this dispute with ESPN. So 15 million of the 70 million ESPN subscribers don't even get ESPN.
That helps.
So 5 of the 6 highest rated games. Now, ABC had the #1 game last week, LSU, Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
But the next 5 were all non-ABC ESPN. They were all Fox, NBC, CBS. I mean, it's a television battle between these networks. And that's why, like, if, Florida State, when you start to talk about the future of conference realignment, that's why Florida State and Clemson and these teams hold value. Because if Fox were to secure them into the Big Ten, like, that's a death blow to ESPN.
Ooh, interesting.
Think about the viewership that they lose by not having those teams in their package.
Oh, yeah.
Because you compare Clemson and Florida State against Wake Forest and these teams, and they draw a number.
Yeah.
Now you're going to put them in another. I mean, so, yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm so looking forward to this. We're going to catch up with Parker Gabriel out there, old friend.
Yeah, we're going to have a steak with Parker.
Boulder Cork, by the way, as we're going.
I'm sorry?
The Boulder Cork.
That's what it's called. Where are we staying?
We're staying in Broomfield. We end up, I've only, in my history of this trip, I've only stayed in actual Boulder one time, and I just got lucky. We stayed at there's a Marriott you can like walk to from the state. I was able to get a room there once, but we've always stayed at either the Renaissance or the Courtyard in Broomfield.
That's not where Colorado's staying?
They're at the Renaissance, and we're at the Courtyard.
Okay.
But we're 10 minutes from the stadium.
Okay, and I would leave you with this thought. Next week, I don't know when the TV ratings come out, but we need to be aware of that. Yeah, because that'll be a story. That's not just a nugget on the message board. I think that's going to be a significant story, that number.
Yeah, it's
going to be a massive number.
And will it outdo Texas, Alabama?
That's the story. Will it? I think it's got a good shot.
Dion element outdo the 2 of the biggest blue blood brands ever in the game of college football?
It's not just Dion, though. It's Nebraska's still a draw. They're still a national draw.
And it's funny how that irritates some people on the outside that we won't just go away. They want Nebraska to go away. Just get out of here. No, we're not.
Not everybody.
But there's just jealousy. Yeah. Like you sense the jealousy. Like, God, look at that volleyball game. That's nuts.
Don't you think, Sean, that there's also a large segment of people that want Nebraska back?
True.
It's nice to see Florida State look like a national.
I would like to see Miami back.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people feel that way about Nebraska. I think a lot of people, Sean, are like, come on, Nebraska. Come on.
Get it figured out.
Yeah, get your crap together. Like Florida State did. Florida State, Sean, I mean, what Norvell did, I'll tell you what he did. He went in there and revamped the offensive line. I'm not going to make this a Florida State discussion, but my brother's a season ticket holder. I know about this stuff. I watched that game and I was shocked by how good their offensive line is compared to where it was 3 years ago.
And they didn't get good till the 3rd year. He didn't go to a bowl his first 2 years.
He was struggling. He was on the struggle bus. They are not struggling now. That is a national title. Like, I would say damn near favorite.
Hey, I put him in my playoff picks.
That's a great pick.
I had my 4 picks. They were one of them.
You know who I put? Clemson. What an idiot.
They're like you can say they're for sure out of it now.
They're not going to beat Florida State. I mean, idiotic.
It'd be funny if they played Iowa in a bowl game after that comedy.
Dabo's thinking, why would you say that? I think he's in a minor tailspin, Clemson.
All right.
Now
well,
watch, they'll lose one game.
We are going to be live, Steve, post-game show after the game, and we're shooting for, let's stay on Central Time for our viewers, but we're thinking 5:30 Central.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
We got to get enough. I mean, it depends. If we can get on by 5, we will, but probably 5:30 is our goal, and we'll update the time on YouTube so you'll know the countdown when we're going to go on. But if you're not a follower, subscriber, download, follow us here. We've also got a great deal on HuskerOnline.com, 50% off an annual membership for this week for the Colorado-Nebraska game. So sign up on there as well and get us on the podcast side. If you don't have time to watch it on YouTube, you can find us anywhere you can find podcasts.